Hi everyone! We are starting a brand new garden project. We've already begun removing our old deck behind us, and we're going to be installing 2 new Smart Pot fabric raised beds for additional growing space. Woohoo! Can't wait for that, along with some other things as well, which we'll be sharing with you in upcoming videos.
Now, have you ever done a project where at the end you're like, oh, I wish I'd have done this, or oh, I wish I would have done that, or even the unfortunate, it's too late, you can't do that now? Well, we have too, so you're not alone there. But we've had some really big projects around here lately in the garden, and we've gotten a lot more confident and experienced in running these things. Beginning with this video and throughout this project, we are going to share with you our steps and our thought processes, how we get through each phase of the project. This way, you will be able to run a project of your own, no matter how big or how small, and end up with the final product that you wanted to get. Sound good? All right. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is come up with a job scope. A job scope is a simple summary of what it is you would like to do here. I would like to take XYZ and remove it and install ABC. In order to do that, you go to the job site and you walk the job. So here we are, we're walking the job, we're looking. And Kim, what is it that you would like to see done here?
Well, the biggest problem with this deck is that the planks are sagging with the weight of all the soil that we had on top of it, and we can't repair it because the wood underneath is rotting. So first thing is, old deck has got to go.
Well, very good. The next thing that you do is you just look over the workspace and you see if there's any restrictions or any hazards or anything where you might need additional help. For example, I notice here that we have electricity in the back. So that would need to be safe off, disconnected before we start rebuilding. So I'll save that piece of wood for last. Is there anything you would like to do different here that wasn't here before? Or do you want this to be exactly like the other side of the garden?
I actually want to do something different because that's what keeps things fun. So I definitely want to put some additional garden space in here, a couple new raised beds. You know, I kind of have a dream for maybe some type of a potting area down here, a potting bench of some kind. So this might be a really good spot for that because the corner gets nice and shaded. So that'd be a nice, you know, relaxing spot to be able to do some garden work down here. Maybe even a little extra storage.
And I'm asking her this question because I want to know, what's our parameters? What about this portion here, the blackberries? Can those be relocated, or do those have to absolutely stay there?
Well, I am not in love with the spot where these blackberries are. Honestly, you guys, you know I transplanted them a couple of times, but they're just not getting enough sun there. So don't really think it's a great spot for them. So I am perfectly okay with removing those, putting them somewhere else in the garden, utilizing this space somehow for this project too.
You bring up a really good point too, and that is, as gardeners, right? Where are the sunny spots? Where are the not so sunny spots? And that's a factor here.
Okay. It definitely is, and it's all about trial and error. I learned from that, and we'll just try them again somewhere else.
I have a dream of some type of cool light structure.
Ooh.
I don't know, like a light post or something that just kind of sticks up from the ground. It can be electrical, it can be solar too. That's something I'd like to keep in mind if doable.
And that's a good one for you, Jerry, because Jerry really is the light guy. He enjoys adjusting and creating special atmospheres and ambiance with light. So that would be a great addition to the space here too.
And Kim, what needs to happen here with the surface once we remove the deck?
Well, we definitely have to level this space to make a good foundation for our raised bed. We really need to replace it with some type of foundation that's sturdy, but that sits directly on the ground so we don't have the sagging issue with the weight of the soil like we had before.
In summary, our job scope is to remove the existing deck and replace it with the raised beds, and possibly throughout that process examine what we could do with additional space and maybe some creative lighting.
One of my favorite parts of any of our garden projects is the demo. We've already started it by clearing the space, removing the composite planks that were there before. Now it's time to remove all the rotted wood underneath so we can level the soil. You can see exactly why we need to remove these planks. Look how rotted this wood is. It's literally just falling apart and breaking in pieces. Lots of rotted wood. You can see how the wood was sagging so much. It actually smashed down this drain pipe. Here we thought this whole time the drain pipe was working. I don't think so. Way easier than I thought.
I'm pretty sure this box is still hot. Yes, it is. We have power there. I'll also use an outlet tester. We can just see, yeah, this is still hot. So we'll go turn it off at the switch box on the side of the house.
So while Jerry is hooking the electrical back up, I'm going to start digging out the footers. There's one in each corner and they're dug in pretty deep. So we definitely need to get all 4 of them out before we can add soil and level the area. This actually used to be Jerry's dad's, so it's kind of sentimental to use it here on this project.
Yeah, I actually think this is reusable. I'm going to hang on to this. Maybe we'll use it at this project, maybe somewhere else, but this is still in good shape. We've been able to repurpose those baseboards.
Now, some of you might not know that 12 years ago, before we even started our YouTube channel, we were on a backyard makeover show called Extra Yardage. And this deck back here was actually one of the things we put in for the show. And the whole purpose of it was so our family could play music together for an al fresco amphitheater, like is right behind us here. That's the amphitheater. These were actually the stages. So we used it for music, and then it ultimately got used for gardening, which all the water leaked from the gardening containers and ultimately rotted the supports under the deck. So it is kind of sad, like Jerry mentioned, but it's fun to have a change too.
It's such great memories of these decks going back to the Extra Yardage show, and we had a lot of family events down here on these stages, so it's kind of sad to be taking them down.
Tons of good leaves and pine needles that blew off during the windstorm that I'm going to put in the compost pile. Hit the jackpot here. Removing the debris, leveling it out before we add soil to prepare the surface for what we're going to lay down on top of this dirt.
Here we go, last piece. Heads up.
Good job, Jerry. Ooh, Mac, watch out.
Yeah, I had to deal with some electrical, which I'm not very skilled at, and I didn't get electrocuted, so I think I did it right.
You did it.
Here it is, the last piece.
All right, it's a good feeling.
So here's what we did today by way of review. One, we learned that you walk the job first to check out, to see exactly what you're dealing with. You also have a chance to talk a little bit about what you're dreaming about, if you could do something really big or not. The next thing that we did was we began our demo and removal process, and we got most of it, 98% of it done here.
Yeah, it feels good.
All we have left is the footings. I did some electrical, which was really scary for me,
Yeah.
but I did it, and I'm okay.
But one thing I wanted to mention too is you always have to manage your expectations. Didn't get quite as much done as we'd hoped for. That's okay. We actually got a lot done. And remember, things always take twice as long as you think. So manage your expectations on that one so you're not disappointed.
All right, well, we're looking forward to our next phase, our next steps, which we'll also make a video. We'll see you then, right?
See you on the next video.
I'm game with that.
Yeah.
Mac, you good?
We check the gate.